for the Maryland Masters Fall Championship games. First up, we have the 30-plus division final featuring Eastciders in orange and McFauls in white. Game time temperature is a crisp 44 degrees with slight winds from the south. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And pleasant good evening, everybody. From the US Lacrosse facility in Sparks, Maryland, it's time for the Maryland Masters Fall Championship. As our 30-plus game features the Eastciders, who will be wearing orange, and McFauls in white. Pleasant good evening, everybody. Chad Cooper alongside Colin Fagan. And Colin, tell us a little bit about this league. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be watching tonight.
Oh, yeah. So, this season we started for 30. We had 12 teams, and now we're down to the final 2. And for those of you that were tuning into that game before this, Crease Monkeys was playing McFauls for the 40-up championship spot. Crease Monkeys was down by 4, and they battled back to 10-9, and they just couldn't pull it out. But what a finish to that game.
Really was an excellent finish to that one. And again, Crease Monkeys had an EMO with under a minute to go, down 1. You really can't ask for much more than that.
Oh, yeah, that was fun to watch.
As it'll be Victor Licata to take the face-off for McFauls, who got into this game with an 11-4 victory against Full Tilt. Face-off is won and claimed by McFauls. Moving into the attacking zone, finally picking up the ground ball. Charles Martin flips it off, and we're getting set for the first offensive series of the contest. Andrew Bishop back behind the cage, trying to work his way up front, double marked. Finally pulls it out to Greg Bragg. Bragg pulls it out of the attacking zone. As you look at this game right now, what are you looking for between these two teams? The shot by Bragg and a nice save made.
To give you background, Eastciders, I feel like it starts with their goalie. You'll see him kind of talking to the defense, and on offense, they'll just try to settle it down. Whereas McFauls, I think they're a really aggressive team. I look to see them kind of attack. Now I see the pole with the ball right now, Kyle Staniford. Oh, he lost it, but he's a really good pole. I've known him for a couple of years. He played for Team England. I look for him to, probably take 1 or 2 shots as a long pole coming down.
That's not an area that you necessarily think of as a huge lacrosse area, playing in England. But obviously, anytime you can get some sort of international experience, it's going to be better for you and for your team. Actually, you want to talk internationally. One area that's really come a long way in a short period of time is Australia. They have really come on huge in the last couple of years as loose ball. And ground ball finally, almost scooped up by Lee Nielsen, picked up by McFauls.
Yeah, looks like we've seen a little bit of jitters early in the championship game. Like both teams trying to win the title.
Ball played out onto the near side. The attack starting from the top, driving in, shot, and the save made. No. That found its way. I thought that Silvad actually made the save.
Yeah.
And it took a while for the referee to signal. McFauls goes up 1-0.
Just to give everyone listening a little background, McFauls is the 1 seed in the bracket format that we've had the past couple of weeks. They've been one of the stronger teams from the start. Eastciders had to play a playing game last night at 9 o'clock as they beat Old Line 10-6. And then they took care of business against Blarney today and won 4-3.
Not a violation. It'll be McFauls' ball to get things started on the offense once again. You got Licata.
Number 18, unassisted.
Yeah, and with the jersey numbers only on one side, we're still learning all the players out on the field, so we'll get their names to you as we come along. Daniel Roach with the ball right now. And coming on is Scott Brown. Mark Whipple, one of the better players on McFauls, gets it behind cage. Turnaround shot there by Kyrus Davenport. Loose ball behind the net. It looks like the ground ball picked up by McFauls. We'll get things started once again. 7:28 to go in the first quarter. A running clock in this contest as Brown has the ball picked off loose outside of the attacking zone, but a nice job by McFauls to be able to come back with it. Working his way inside, Bishop now pulls it out. Bishop turning on all sorts of moves. Sidearm shot is blocked. Looks like we are going to have, didn't see any flags come out, but they're going to whistle a foul, and it's going to be McFauls' ball. As well it should be. Basically, the attacking player, Bishop, was pretty much tackled. Not in the crease, but pretty close to. Brown sends it off. Coming from behind the net, Davenport. Davenport fakes left, goes right, shot is high and wide. And initially the officials said that Eastciders had the backup, but now switched his call over to McFauls. I thought it was 50-50.
Yeah, it seemed pretty close there. I think we need the players to be diving for the possession here in the championship game.
Brown somehow comes away with the ball inside. Shot, score! Scott Brown with the goal on that one. That was a nifty play, just trying to even hold on to that ball on the interior pass.
Yeah, found a way to finish it.
And once he did, he was pretty much inside all alone. And, I don't care how good your keeper is. That's a tough situation to be put in.
Yeah, I know. Man. So these two teams played in the semifinals in our spring championships. McFauls was the three seed, and they came in and beat the 2 seed Eastciders 6-4. I remember in that game, Eastciders started out kind of slow, but got back into it. So let's see if they can find an answer here.
Well, midway through the first quarter, and already it's 2-0 McFauls. The key right now is on the face-off.
Charles Martin.
And it looks like for the first time today, it looks like that was kicked out of bounds by a McFauls player, and Eastciders will have possession in the attacking zone for the first time today. Lee Nielsen trying to work his way inside. Finds Alex Dixon. Shot goes wide, backed up by Ethan Bodie. Eastciders will mate. Oh, no, they're saying that it was tipped on the way out. I heard a couple of sticks clack, but I didn't think that the ball was actually tipped on the way out. Long pole bringing it forward. Alexander Marshall. Now off onto the far side. One dip, one dive, one shot, and one score. It's coming through on that one is Mark Whipple, and as we talked about in the, previously, one of the better players on McFauls.
Oh yeah,
he's somebody that they're going to be looking to run the attack through, whether it's either cutting from the wing or just going direct.
Definitely, yeah. He's a solid player. He's quick, and he knows how to be aggressive.
Looks like Eastciders is going to make a change in face-off, and they're going to send Clay Casamano out there for the face-off after going 0 for 2 and really 0 for 3, even though they did gain possession. The ball was kicked out by McFauls. Face-offs, as always, so critical, and won again by Licata. Randy Belton with the ball out on the attack. Now he'll roll it back. Davenport. Back to Belton. Behind the net, Bishop. Looking to send it up top. Procedure violation will turn it over to Eastciders. So Silva will send it forward from his goal position. Charles Schiarini brings it into the attack zone for Eastciders, who trail 3-0 with 2.5 to go in the first quarter. And if you're just joining us, it is a running clock unless it is within a 3-goal game in the final 3 minutes of the game. Then regular lacrosse timing rules are in play. Eastciders trying to build the attack. Michael Smith gets inside, shot, and it trickles into the goal.
Man, what a change of events.
Boy, that is something that Eastciders needed badly, as that one looked like it was initially stopped, and I think it was originally blocked.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what threw the keeper off there. It changed trajectory off of the deflection. So Eastciders gets themselves on the board. One other thing to note, each team does get one timeout in these games.
Yep, one timeout per half. You can only call it on the offensive zone of the field.
So Eastciders on the board. It's the first of 3 championship games that we will have for you today. This one, the over 30 game, is once again Licata does a good job of sneaking the ball loose. Some ball moved into the attacking zone for Davenport. Davenport is absolutely incensed that he didn't get a slashing call there. But, I mean, what's a game if a player's not trying to buy a call somewhere? This bounced onto the far side. Trying to break down a defender. Bragg. Comes back near side. Right now I think McFauls is just going to hold for one in this spot. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Behind the net. Sent up top. It's deflected and loose. Ground ball is going to be scooped up by Eastciders. Well, maybe not actually scooped up.
Yeah, it worked out.
Finally scooped up by Eastciders, but the horn sounds, and we are done 1 quarter of play with the score McFauls 3, Eastciders 1. Colin, what did you see in that first quarter?
I saw, McFauls kind of got out to the hot start, but Eastciders kind of got lucky with that 1 goal. Let's see if they can build on that. I guess we have a little break. I wanted to mention we had an equipment drive today for Harlem Lacrosse, which is they do an intercity lacrosse in Baltimore. I was kind of taken away by how much we were able to have players donate. We must have had over 20 helmets and 40 sets of gloves, 40 sticks or so. Just speaks to like how this game means so much to some people, and people can give back in a good way like that. It was cool to see.
You know, one of the things that I've always said about lacrosse is, and if you look at the statue off to our right moment, it is the only truly uniquely North American game.
Definitely.
You know, people like to talk about baseball being the American pastime, and we just had a really nice World Series, but this is the only truly North American game. This was the game that was developed by Native Americans, adopted by the English when they came over. That's one of the reasons why lacrosse is as good as it is.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Earlier today, I was checking out the Hall of Fame Museum here. It's kind of cool just to see the history and how far sticks have come across, and even helmets and everything.
I mean, even when you go back as far as only 30 years ago, the sticks almost resembled exactly what was played, and right. the sticks resemble pretty much what you see on the Tewarton Trophy.
Yeah.
So, as it'll be McFauls to come away with the ball. Jogging into the attacking zone is Brown. Falls with it on the far side. It's biding some time. Again, with the running clock, you can stall to a point before the referees call the stall and say you need to do something with it, as Davenport makes a move, guarded by 2 defenders, gets shoved off the ball. Ends up having to break off his path and go behind the net. Belton didn't play the first offensive series or two, as his turnaround bounce goes wide out of bounds. And I keep it with McFauls. Davenport will send it up top to Whipple. Brown working his way in. Getting shoved off the ball, bouncing off. Now backing it out. And again, speaking of the running clock and the fact that if the referee isn't calling the stall, you can do what you want here. Is Whipple, the shot in the get by.
Man.
Gets by Silva. 4-1 McFauls, but again, that took 2.5 minutes.
Oh yeah. If you could do a couple possessions like that per quarter, you're taking away.
You're taking away almost half of the quarter right there.
Yeah. Compared to that Crease Monkeys McFauls games, which was kind of up and back, and we're seeing shots left and right.
The other number 24 McFauls, Charles Martin, checks into the game on the far side on the wing. The players are going to be looking to scoop up the ground ball off of the face-off here. A couple of double numbers on each side. Licata is able to pick up his own ground ball off the face-off.
McFauls goal scorer number 1, Mark Whipple.
Pulls up the attack and flips it off. for Belton. Belton working his way in.
Oh.
Kind of took a backhanded shot there. He's a right-handed shot and kind of whipped that one around. Not quite the
Conventional, but yeah.
Yeah, not quite the. And when you say conventional, sometimes you will see a player go behind the back as the shot taken by Bishop and saved by Silva. As the outlet pass intercepted by Scott Panowitz. And it'll be Eastciders on the backup. Growing up in the Philadelphia area, when I think of the shots behind the back or like that, I just think of Tom Maricek on those shots.
Oh, yeah, right?
Grew up a huge Wings fan.
Definitely fun. Sometimes when you're coming across the goal, you just can't help but.
Well, I mean, that was honestly the only opportunity that he really had there. Is that ball taken away once again? Bishop with the shot wide. But again, sometimes you just have to take what the defense is giving you, and they were cutting off the right as he was driving in. All he had the opportunity to do was go behind the back with it.
Right.
Well, Eastciders just needs to get out of their own defensive end. They've had 2 outlet opportunities and haven't had it, and then a little bit of a slash there. The ball comes loose, and once again, McFauls with the ball. We're almost midway through this second quarter. I don't think Eastciders has had it on the plus side of midfield this quarter.
Yeah.
Now McFauls is just going to calmly set up the offense. And again, no reason to rush in this situation.
Exactly, yeah, you have the lead.
You got a 3-goal lead. You're midway through the second quarter. It's Daniel Roach. Sends over for Matt Barak. Barak pushed down from behind. Swatting for the ball, it comes away, shot and score for McFauls to go up 5-1.
McFauls goal.
One thing that we talked about is you get a timeout in each half, but you have to have it in when you're on attack. That's the problem for Eastciders right now. They can't get on attack to be able to call a timeout and regroup.
They've had the ball for like under 2 minutes this whole game, it feels like.
And the goal that they scored, you don't want to call anything lucky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skill that goes into it, but it was deflected and just trickled past the goalie who wasn't able to react to the deflection quite in time.
Exactly. I'd like to also take a second to mention a new initiative that we're doing. We're building a Maryland select team that we're going to be taking to tournaments throughout the next year. We'll take a couple players from each team to kind of compete on a national level. So stay tuned for that. We're currently trying to figure out what kind of logo we want to use. So if you have any ideas, shoot us a message or comment what you think a good design might be.
And of course, if you have any questions or want to learn more about Maryland Lacrosse, you can look up Maryland Lacrosse League on Facebook. Just search for Maryland Lacrosse League, and you'll find them. And, well, obviously, if you're watching this, you've already found it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have all information, too, on our website, MarylandLacrosseLeague.com. So I look forward to reaching out to new people. Kind of fun. This past couple of years, we've gotten more players, and it's always cool to see people that haven't played in a couple of years come out, especially at this Masters level.
Eastciders on the attack. Christopher Kenny with the ball. I think as much as anything, yes, you need to cut into the lead right now. But I think if you're Eastciders, you also need to remember, as much as it feels like McFauls has owned the game to this point, take a little bit of time. Set up your offense. Don't rush the shot just because you're behind. Right now, you need to just get some possession, not let the lead grow.
Oh, yeah. Let's let the D rest for a minute, work it around.
They're playing it out on the perimeter right now. Nielsen gives it off. Kenny, stutter step on the attack, trying to get inside. Shot, score! Christopher Kenny with the great individual effort from the top of the attacking zone. That's what they needed. Take a minute and a half off the clock, score at the end of it. Now if you can get the ball back either off of the faceoff or off of his turnover, a save, some sort of defensive stop, maybe get another one, and it's a 2-goal game at the half.
Right, Chad, you called it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. They have to win a face-off eventually, you'd think, you know.
You'd think, but had the opportunity to work at the D1 championships back in Philadelphia in the spring. Well, whenever Yale was out there, you didn't win face-offs.
Victor, too, the guy facing off from McFauls, he was an all-star in the summer, and he played an all-star game that we had at the Naval Academy. So he's definitely a tough opponent that they're going to have today.
Well, that might be the best way for Eastciders to win a face-off is on a violation right there. And again, chop another minute and a half off the clock. If you can, score at the end of it, and all of a sudden it's 5-3 with a minute and a half left to go in the second. It's an individual effort on the attack, working through slashes and cross checks. Finally gets it back behind the net. Nielsen out on the far side. The flag is out, so an EMO coming up for Eastciders. Flag coming from the trail official on the near side. So Eastciders will go on the extra man. First man-up opportunity we've had in this opening game. And again, 3 championship games to be played here this evening.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think all the games will present good matchups. I got to say, I'm always amazed by the 40 and older crowd. We'll have 2 top-notch teams going at it. I think some of the 40 teams could compete with some of the younger teams, to be honest.
I will give them all the credit in the world because I'll tell you right now, I'm in the 40-plus crowd. I don't know how you would do it. I wake up in the morning and I can't even imagine just going out there onto a lacrosse pitch.
We got to think Maryland's kind of the hotbed for lacrosse, and you just have people that love the game. It's kind of what I've seen.
I mean, you just look at all of the talent in and around this even just this area right here. The Eastciders trying to maintain possession with 1:20 to go. And it'll be McFauls. Well, hang on. It looked like it was going to be McFauls who comes away with it, but the ground ball scooped up by Eastciders. It's pushed forward again, trying to attack here. Shot, and it is sticked aside, and it went off of the keeper. So because it went off of the keeper, it will go with Eastciders, even though McFauls probably had. Oh no,
they're going McFauls.
They're going McFauls. Wow, I've been a couple of dome scratchers on some of these calls.
Yeah, running it out. I know it's always like who's closer or where's the ball go to bounce type of thing. It can be kind of hard for the refs.
Again, we're getting back to it, talking about just some of the incredible lacrosse talent in this general area. This portion of Maryland in and of itself, you've got Towson, you've got Stevenson, you've got Goucher, all high-level programs.
Oh, yeah.
On the Eastern Shore, you've got Salisbury, you've got Loyola not too far away. As that ball comes loose, trouble with the catch. Sticked away with 8 seconds to go. Honestly, that might have been the best thing that Eastciders could have done, was just kick it out of bounds and let the half come to an end, which it does with the score. McFauls 5 and Eastciders 2. A brief halftime, and we'll be back after this.
Eastciders 2.
On Maryland Lacrosse League Facebook. will flip sides of the field and get things started in the second half. McFauls, top seed coming in with a 5-2 lead against Eastciders. Eastciders, the 3 seed, an upset of Blarney 4-3 in the semifinals earlier. McFauls an 11-4 victory against Full Tilt. And McFauls will start the second half with the ball after the kick out of bounds to end the first half. McFauls working it back behind the net. Mark Whipple swinging it out up top. Davenport tried to get it inside. Shot went wide from Roach. Backed up by Whipple. Maryland Masters Fall Championship right now. This is the over 30 game. There's a shot sent wide once again, and Whipple once again with the backup. McFauls versus Eastciders from the US Lacrosse National Facility here in Sparks, Maryland. Nice catch there by Davenport to keep that one in possession. The ball initially dropped, but then scooped up again on the ground ball by Belton. Wouldn't actually get a ground ball for that. The ball inside, knocked away. Roach unable to maintain possession, and it'll be taken away by Eastciders. Christopher Kenny slips and is able to regain his footing and tries to bring it out of his own end. He's going to come all the way from behind the goal line into the attack zone, gets the clear. And now Eastciders will set the offense up. Kyle Benitez going to go back up top. Shot goes wide, backed up by, looks like Brian Remortel. So it's Jesse Hoffman with the shot. Hoffman not able to maintain control on the outlet, and it'll go back to McFauls. Zongpol brings it up. Belton fakes the shot. Now coming on is Gregory Bragg. Instead, the ball goes on to the far side, where Whipple will try to break down his defender one-on-one, flips it across, and it'll go out of bounds. Ball will remain with McFauls, 9:18 to go in the third quarter. Ball brought up top for Scott Brown. Now Belton. Belton once again back across the attack line, jabbed at by the Eastciders defender. Trying to break his man down, shakes free, but his pass onto the interior for Brown is taken away. Scooped up by Bragg. Onto the far side, Whipple whips it and scores! What a shot by Mark Whipple off the feed from Gregory Bragg. He just absolutely unloaded that one. Wow.
McFauls goal, scorer number 1, Mark Whipple.
Well, now here's where timing starts to come into play. The 4-goal lead. With the 4-goal lead, again, it's a running clock, but if you have a 3 or more than a 3-goal lead into the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, it stays running. So Licata wins the faceoff. He's won every faceoff so far today, save for one where he was called for a violation. Licata will scoop up the ground ball and flip it over to Barak. And again, if it's 3 goals or less in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, regular lacrosse timing rules apply. So if you're McFauls, you want to keep this at a 4-goal lead or expand it if at all possible. If the referees are going to give you the opportunity to stall, might as well. The shot saved by Silva. Eastciders trying to bring it out across midfield. Hoffman passes forward into the attack zone. It's Hoffman, the stutter step. Trying to find Schiarini. Now it is Schiarini with the ball. Gives it for Casamano. Casamano getting a little bit of a wide berth there defensively by Chad Palmer. Gets bumped off the ball, but draws the flag, so it's going to be an extra man opportunity coming up right now for Eastciders as McFauls with the touch. Second EMO for Eastciders today. They were unable to convert on the first. It's going to be Palmer who heads to the sin bin. Midway through this third quarter, it's Hoffman. Top Kenny. Kenny, the lone goal scorer for Eastciders today. It's Hoffman. Sends it into the middle. The shot from Michael Smith is high. Backed up by Eastciders, so they'll maintain possession. 5:35 to go. The ball into the middle, bouncing off the post on the shot by Kenny. Ball is loose, and McFauls comes away with the ground ball. Sent forward looking for Bishop. And trailing the play, Hoffman is down. Unsportsmanlike, locked for a minute. So a full minute on the EMO for Eastciders, even if they score. So there's 22 seconds remaining on the initial penalty. And again, a second penalty assessed, and this one is locked. So a two-man opportunity here. The shot blocked. Eastciders gets it back off of the block. Hoffman's shot goes wide. A diving effort by McFauls, not able to get the backup on it. First penalty should have expired at this point. And the second shot score coming from Smith. Now this, because the second penalty, the unsportsmanlike, is a full time and he's locked. I don't think that time has fully expired.
Eastciders goal.
You just heard the referee say right there, first penalty is released. Second penalty still has 30 seconds left on it. So Eastciders now trail 6-3. The goal put up on the board with 3:14 to go in the third quarter. They're crediting that one to Brendan McLaughlin. They clear up a lot of the procedural stuff. Quite a bit of important and critical time for Eastciders, who's trying to make a comeback. It's being lost here. We didn't start the face-off until 2:41. This ground ball on the face-off is scooped up by the long pole, Sean Carroll. Multiple flags fly. And it's going to be an EMO coming up for McFauls. McFauls is going to take their time right now. They've got no reason to rush with a 3-goal lead as we wind down to 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. As that ball was tipped on the way through. Boy, Belton saying that he caught it right away with no tip, and quite frankly, I kind of agree. Not sure Belton realizes that it's still McFauls' ball in that case. 1 minute cross-checking penalty on Jesse Hoffman. So Belton will put it back in play. Gets it back, flips it onto the far side. Whipple's pass onto the interior for Bishop. Bishop shot blocked. Whipple gets it back, gives to Belton. Shot is wide. 40 seconds left in the third quarter. It's brought onto the near side. Shot saved by Silva. Fight for the loose ball. Belton fighting for the ground ball. Finally, Silva comes away with it. 8 seconds left. I don't know how much time he's going to have to do anything. And in fact, Eastciders not going to risk the turnover. Just going to let the clock run out in the third and try their luck in the fourth, trailing 6-3.
At the end of the third quarter, the score McFauls 6, Eastciders 3.
Each team with 1 goal in that quarter. But right now, if you're Eastciders, you really don't have time to trade goals. The two teams huddle up prior to this fourth and final quarter. On a chilly night from the Baltimore suburbs, not cold yet. We're getting there. It's going to get there. So we once again continue to have the temperature drop. In this first weekend of November. Seems like just yesterday we were saying happy 2019. Now we're already into the final 2 months of 2019. Eastciders will bring it out of their own end to open up this fourth quarter. It's now Hoffman back out onto the pitch. Ball goes out over the sideline, though, and will belong to McFauls. Martin has his outlet pass nearly intercepted, picked up by McFauls. We'll bring it into the attacking end. And for McFauls at this point, kill clock. No reason to rush, no reason to do anything senseless with the ball. Davenport brings his way in. Shot, score.
McFauls goal.
Here is Davenport. Well, that was a sneaky shot there. That puts McFauls up 7-3 with under 11 minutes to play.
McFauls goals for win number 9. Queries Davenport.
Licata goes back out for face-off for McFauls. Wins the face-off and scoops his own ground ball. So we had 10 minutes to play in this 38-plus championship. Starting to see a couple of guys that we haven't seen on the field yet coming onto the field of play as that shot is wide. Here's Whipple. Sends it way back out to midfield. It's another shot wide of the cage. So McFauls just really peppering Eastciders with shots right now. Whipple brings it out to Bolton. It's a one-on-one attack. Splits a couple of defenders, but the flag goes up. And it'll be an EMO. Casamano gets called for a minute slash. That's the last thing that Eastciders needs right now. .8:16 to go and down a man, down 4 goals. It's Whipple's shot off both the keeper and the crossbar, but what you really need to give some credit is McFauls has done a really nice job of just really control as Bolton shot posts. Caroms all the way out to midfield. It'll be scooped up by McFauls. They've really just dominated the play and the possession in this one. Haven't really given Eastciders too many chances, although Eastciders with the ball now. But even when Eastciders has gotten the ball, outside of 1 or 2 possessions, it's really been short-lived. Nielsen trying to break down his defender, gets inside, loses the ball on the way through. Still loose. The ground ball scooped up by Martin. Martin will lob it forward, one long pole to another. Now McFauls will bring it back across. The shot, another post. Eastciders does get the ground ball this time. As Schiarini had an opportunity, loose in front of the cage. Push call, then it'll stay with Eastciders. 6:17 to go. Reminder that coming up right after this game, we've only had about 5-minute breaks between games. Coming up right after this game, we'll have the Elite Final. Procedural penalty against, shouldn't say penalty, but procedural violation against Eastciders. And our ball along to McFauls again as we are more than midway through this fourth quarter. As the shot by Sean Carroll tipped wide, a lot of whistles, and they're going to give the ball over to Eastciders. Believe they are, at least. No, actually, it's going to be a penalty on Kyle Standiford. So an EMO for McFauls. So no, Eastciders will not get the ball back. At least not right now. Again, if you're McFauls, no reason to do anything in this game other than just play out the final 4.5 minutes. Don't take chances. Don't do anything silly, as there's the shot. Oh, and that was wide open for Scott Brown, who does have a goal today. That was wide open for him. Could not have been much more clear in front of the net and just sailed it high. It happens sometimes. Barak. Up top, Whipple. Whipple got by one defender and then smartly pulls it back out. And then passes it up over the head of Davenport. It'll be a turnover against McFauls. Casamano tried to spin as he was catching and loses the ball. McFauls comes away with it. Here's Whipple. Near side, Palmer or Davenport with the shot. Backed up by McFauls. They'll retain possession. 3:14 to go. Barak. Whipple. Some confusion amongst McFauls, but coming away with it is going to be Davenport. Davenport working his way inside. Shot. Saved by Silva. Loose ball is picked up by Wilson. Eastciders with one more attacking opportunity. 2.5 to play. Time's got to be now, though. The shot is blocked. McFauls comes away with it. Carroll then loses the ball. Fight for the loose ball. It goes out, and they're going to give it to Eastciders, are the officials. Chris Ships loses possession behind the net. It'll be Dave Raykemper coming away with it for McFauls. Under 2 minutes to play. Bragg brings it into the attack box. Whipple breaks one defender and then swings it back out. Again, less than 1.5 minutes to play, so McFauls just needs to maintain for a little bit longer. They will claim the over 30 championship. It's Whipple. Shot goes wide. 1:06 to play. Bragg. Brings it back to Bolton. Bolton just trying to shield the ball from Wilson, who's trying to take it away. Now flips it all the way back, was looking on that far side. McFauls does maintain possession. Whipple sends it back out for Bolton with 28 to play. Now the McFauls bench starting to cheer and high five. They know what's coming. 14 seconds left. I'll be out off of McFauls and belong to Eastciders, but it's not going to matter. I don't know if they're ever going to get the ball. They will not. Everybody starts to shake hands, and this one is over.
Final score, McFauls 7.
McFauls wins it 7-3. We'll be back with our elite match coming up in a few minutes. And welcome back for our Open Division game featuring Duffy's versus Mcgarveys in this Maryland Lacrosse League Fall Championship. Mcgarveys will be in the white. Duffy's will be in the multicolored two-tone. It'll be Charles Malloy to take the face-off for Duffy's. See who's heading into the face-off circle for Mcgarveys. Again, 12-minute quarters, running clock. Each team gets one timeout per half. You have to be in the attacking zone to take your timeout. Mcgarveys got here with an 8-7 victory against DMV. Duffy's a little bit of a surprise with an 8-7 victory over STX. Face-off violation against Aaron Wood, and the ball belonged to Duffy's to get things started. Chasing it down for Duffy's is Drew Ross. It's a very short bench for Duffy's today. Only 12 active players on the roster. So they've got the ball behind the net. Shot whipped and scored. It's like number 12 to go on that one. Don't have a number 12 on our roster, so we'll need to take a look. That might have been number 13, Chris Voorhees.
Number 12, Charlie Horn.
This time, Mcgarveys wins the face-off. Sent into the middle for Reese Sullivan. Sullivan has to toss it back out, now onto the interior. I have a penalty. Cole Fanzo got slashed. The penalty goes against Charles Malloy. The pass over for Austin Dorsey goes wide. It'll be turned back over to Duffy's. Or a couple of late additions to the Duffy's team. In fact, Kyle Standiford, who was in the previous game, is just switched uniforms and is now back out there for Duffy's. This ball sent back. Duffy's out on the attack right now, getting some pressure. Moving it back out to 12. Duffy's holding the 1-0 lead, and again, they're a team that wasn't really supposed to be here in this one. It's Nick Green. Sends it on to the far side. Whistle off the shot, backed up by Duffy's. 7:55 to go in the first quarter. It's from behind the net. The shot is shoveled wide by Clay Batley. Stay with Duffy's. And both teams getting here with an 8-7 semifinal win. That pass popped loose, taken down by Duffy's. Ross gets it onto the interior, shot and score, and Duffy's goes up 2-0. So a little bit of a surprise maybe. We'll wait for the call on that goal. Scored by number 8. Again, it's Malloy versus Wood in the face-off circle. Duffy's will come away with it. Ross unable to scoop up the ball, and it'll be picked up by Jackson Downs for Mcgarveys, who's looking to get on the board midway through this first quarter. Riley White enters the contest. So that shot goes wide, backed up by Mcgarveys. King. Hunter King sends it back out for Austin Dorsey. Dorsey with a little fancy footwork before he gives it back to King. King works his way in on the right side, slips, maintains possession almost with an underhand shot wide of cage. Backed up by Mcgarveys, and they'll maintain. Sullivan. Offsides whistled against Mcgarveys, and it'll belong to Duffy's. So Duffy's with under 5 to play. It's a nice move to get through. The shot goes wide from the long pole Malloy. Duffy's will re-enter from the baseline. Turnaround shot off the post. Scooped up by Duffy's, and will keep going. Batley. The shot from Ross saved by Andrew Pinsky. Garvey's having trouble getting into the attack zone. Sullivan able to get his way through, then had the ball sticked away, loose on the ground. Still loose. And it'll be Duffy's with the clean pickup. 3.5 to go in the first quarter. The pass on to the middle centering pass is intercepted, and here comes Mcgarveys the other way. Downs sends it onto the far side. Fagan behind the net. Back out for Downs. Downs working on the right side. Picks up a second defender, loses the ball. It's free. Tried to get it to Sullivan. Coming away with it is King. King maintains possession. It's back out for Riley White. Behind the net for Fagan. Fagan will try the turnaround. Goes wide, and then Hunter King's shot misses over the top of everything. And officials are going to say that it was Duffy's with the backup. So 10 minutes into this game, Duffy's a 2-0 lead and the ball coming out of their own end. Zachary Scholl, the goalie, turns it over on the outlet. Here's Hunter King. The shot is passed, actually. It's Cole Fanzo. Gives it over to Jackson Downs. Downs has it sticked away. Duffy's comes away with a minute 15 to go in the first quarter. It's Carlos Morabel. Came away with that loose ball. Under a minute remaining in the first quarter. A nice move to get inside. Another spin. Good stick control. Working their way inside. Now coming behind the net. Multiple flags. Cross check on Mcgarveys. It'll be a minute. And the first quarter will end with the score, Duffy's 2 and Mcgarveys nothing.
At the end of the first quarter, we scored Duffy's 2, McGarveys 0.
So flip sides and go again. Our over 40 game coming up after this one. That one's scheduled for 9 o'clock. Might be a minute or two afterward. Mcgarveys comes back out onto the field. They'll be attacking now from right to left. Duffy's being on the EMO. They'll start the ball, or start the period with the ball. Rifling the shot and scoring is Clay Batley. All of a sudden, Duffy's up 3-0.
Duffy's goal. 22, Drew Ross.
So they're giving that to 22. I saw 2. Apparently there were a couple of 2s on that uniform. Face-off won by Duffy's again. Coming free with the shot high. Duffy's with the backup. Malloy. Drops it as Duffy's starts the attack from the far side. Ball tried to be centered and then coming away with it, shot and score, and Duffy's goes up 4-0.
Duffy's goal.
This is not quite what we were expecting. Even if Duffy's were to stay in this and be competitive, I don't think anybody expected a 4-0 score line.
Early by number 2, Clay Batley.
Batley gets credited with that goal. I don't know if anybody expected a 4-0 score line early in the second quarter. It's got to start with the face-off right now for Mcgarveys, and they do win this one. Flipped into the attacking zone, Fagan. He'll hold on to it instead of giving that one off to Austin Dorsey. Now up top for Hunter King. Riley White. Awkward pass behind Cage. White will get it back on the near side as he scoops it up. Now go far side. Thought about a shot from distance, as King will rip it from deep. Mcgarveys will retain possession. King able to break down his defender, and the lefty shot scores, getting Mcgarvey on the board. Boy, that was a laser from Hunter King. This Wood will head back out into the face-off circle. And again, Mcgarveys needed to win a face-off. They won the face-off, and when they did, good things happened on the offensive end. Again, can Mcgarveys win the face-off and go back on the attack, now trailing 4-1, 7.5 to go in the second. Wood able to squirt the ball free, and it'll be picked up by, looks like Jackson Downs. The shot and a save made. Looks like that might be Anthony Wilson in goal. So here's Standiford taking it all the way through. Shot, score. Kyle Standiford just took it all the way coast to coast for the goal. playing in his second game of the championship. He's playing for Eastciders in the last game, now playing for Duffy's in the Open Championship.
Duffy's goal scored by number 4, Kyle Standiford.
Wood versus Scholl in the face-off circle. So we approach the midway point of this second quarter. Reminder that we have one more game. We have the over 40 game coming up at 9 o'clock. That one's a little bit longer, 13-minute quarters instead of 12s. Batley sends it out for Scholl, who scores. Boy, Duffy's has just opened it up here, 6-1. 5:35 to go in the second quarter. Looks like Malloy's going to take the face-off this time.
Goal scored by number 13, Chris Voorhees.
Actually, Chris Voorhees is wearing number 14. We had Voorhees in 13. Trying to have a penalty called. I believe that penalty is going to go against Mcgarveys. This ball staying on the near side, now up top. Shot wide of cage. Duffy's will maintain possession. Working it on the near side. What a nice pass through and across, and the goal scored by Batley. Perfect pass across.
Duffy's goal.
And Wood and Malloy to head to the face-off circle. This time Wood does win the face-off. And again, the one other time Mcgarveys won the face-off today, they came down and scored. Mcgarveys having an opportunity to set up their offense. King. Dorsey. Now out on the far side. Shot. Score. I believe that was Riley White.
Mcgarveys goal.
No, it's not White. My apologies. Need him to turn around so we can see who he is. It's Cole Fanzo. So again, the two times that Mcgarveys has actually won the faceoff, they've been able to score. Can they do it again and cut this gap before halftime with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half? Ball pops free. And it will be scooped up by King. So minute 34 to go before halftime is nearly a turnover, and it is a turnover. Behind the back pass, a nice spin move. Another behind the back pass. Shot is saved. Duffy scoops up the ground ball. Just throws it randomly before it goes out of bounds back towards the middle. It'll be picked up by Mcgarveys. King is able to fight his way through some defensive pressure. The shot is wide. Fanzo goes back to pick it up. Mcgarveys will keep things with 45 seconds left. Rolled out for White. Ball loose on the far side. Picked up by Robert Wilson. 23 seconds left. Duffy still has some time here. The bounce shot from Nicholas Green goes up over the top. I think that's going to be pretty much the last play of the first half. The count goes down to 0. We're at halftime. Duffy's leads it 7-2. Back for second half action. It'll be Scholl to take the face off for Duffy's. Against Aaron Wood for Mcgarveys. Duffy's up 7-2 as we open up this third quarter of play. Scholl took the majority of the face-offs early, and then as the second quarter wore on, Charles Malloy took several of them. Duffy's does come away with this one, or excuse me, Mcgarveys does. The shot is whipped and tipped away. Standiford chasing after it. Unable to get there. So Hunter King will enter it back into play. Colin Fagan back behind the net. Tries the turnaround shot and the save made by the Duffy's keeper. Trying to send it forward on the outlet onto the far side, and it is picked up. Out there and taking it all the way in. Behind the back attempt by Malloy. It's not Malloy, excuse me. This ball out on the front, shot and score. I believe that was Drew Ross.
Scored by number 22, Drew Ross.
And indeed it was Ross. I was right that first time. That was Malloy who went behind the back with the shot attempt. Either way, Ross with the goal. 8-2, Duffy's on top as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the third quarter. It'll be Scholl to take the face-off once again and put the goal on the board. Duffy's once again wins the face-off. Mcgarveys has only won 2 face-offs. Both times they've won them, they've scored. Sullivan moves it forward for Mcgarveys. They need some sort of offense right away. Fagan gets bounced off the ball, stays with it, passes it out for King. King, shot, and somehow did not go in. Well, it looked like for everything that ball was in the cage. And now here comes Duffy's with the clear, and we're going to go straight in on the attack. Now I'm going to back it out. Ross. Horning. Back behind the net, trying to find a cutting attacker. Horning comes away with it. Bounce shot is in. To see who that is now that he turns around. Chris Voorhees with the goal. 9-2, Duffy's on top. 8:13 to go, third quarter.
Duffy's goal, scored by number 13, Chris Voorhees.
Loosely, you could give an assist to Horning on that one. I don't think he's going to get it, though. Wood wins the face-off and scores right off of it. So Mcgarveys gets himself back on the board. It's now 9-3. They're going to need a lot more of that. And again, it all goes back to the face-off. Every time they've won the face-off, they've scored. We don't want to keep harping on it, but that's the fact of the game right now.
Mcgarveys goal, scored by number 25, unassisted.
They've only won 3 face-offs. Each time they've won a face-off, they've scored. So once again, Wood wins the face-off, so we'll see if the trend is able to keep going. Wood somehow able to hold on to that ball. Backpedaling and now gets it off for Jackson Downs. Downs with the ball moving over onto the left side. Fanzo comes up top, and Downs faked the pass to him. Now goes deep and back behind the net. Out for Hunter King. Sullivan. Now Downs again. Downs around the pick from Fagan. Turnaround shot off the post. Out of bounds, and Duffy's will pick it right up. So they'd beaten the goalie, but unfortunately that pesky post got in the way. So we're past the midway point of the third quarter. Ross looks to scoop up the ground ball, overruns it. Horning is there, though. Finds Ross. Fakes the shot. Flips it over for Horning. Horning off of the pick. It's back to Ross. Ross with the shot and the save made by Pinsky. A dangerous pass there to give it back to the keeper, who had trouble with it behind his own net. This now it's Austin Dorsey. Dorsey over for King. King up top for Downs. Downs trying to drive. Comes all the way around the net, shovels it back behind Cage. White looking for Fanzo. Fanzo able to get around the ball and scoop it before it goes over the sideline. Fanzo now driving. Taking it all the way in. Wanted to go behind the back. Ball was loose. And we're going to have a crease violation. That's exactly what it is. And it gets turned back over to Duffy's. Standiford. Finds Horning. Horning takes it into the attack zone. Turnaround shot, and Pinsky will take it off a weak bounce. 3:43 to go. As Mcgarveys brings the ball up. Back behind the net for Sullivan. Sullivan looking for an outlet to go to. Doesn't have anybody there. Instead takes it in himself, and a nice save made. In order to keep that one out and keep the 6-goal lead as we approach 3 to go in the third. Fanzo is whipping it as Downs wide of the net. Kept in by King. Downs takes the shot and scores.
McGarveys goal.
Jackson Downs with the goal.
Scorer number 44, Jackson Downs.
A little bit of life for Mcgarveys. It's now 9-4, but time getting short. Down by 5 with 2 minutes to go in the third. Horning taking the face off this time. Kicks it back to Standiford. Duffy's able to maintain possession of the ball. Malloy. Long stick able to send it back. Ross. Thought about the shot, but will hold up. And like we were in our first game today, if you're Duffy's at this point, just stall the ball as much as you can. Stall the ball until the officials say you have to shoot. Horning. Onto the far side. Sidearm shot is saved by Pinsky. A long outlet. Overrunning the ball is White. He's still able to come away with it. And offsides against Mcgarveys. Too many men in the attacking zone at one time. So Duffy's gets it back. Horning. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, and right now, if you're Duffy's, just hold on. Hold for one. Scholl. The shot goes wide. That'll be the last play, however, of the third quarter. We head to the final period. Duffy's leads at 9-4. We begin the fourth and final quarter of our Open Division Championship. Face-off between Scholl and Wood. Duffy's leading Mcgarveys 9-4 in this Maryland Lacrosse League Open Division Championship. A violation against Aaron Wood. The ball belonged to Duffy's. Nearly a turnover, but Horning able to come away with it. Horning slips, maintains the ball. He's on the wraparound. Batley unable to get the shot through, or check that, Taylor unable to get the shot through cleanly. Pinsky will come out and corral the ball outside of the crease. For Mcgarveys, he's going to go with a long outlet pass. Looking for Riley White. White bats it back to a teammate. It was a smart play there by White. And just batting the ball back. Realizing he was going to be able to catch it cleanly. Ball loose. Mcgarveys comes away with it. But just for a moment. So here comes Duffy's on the counterattack. Carlos Maribel takes it all the way in. Pinsky the save. Ball is still loose. Malloy comes up with it. Very active on the offensive end for a long pole. Malloy taps it back, but it's going to be King who has it. And King will jog it across midfield as we hit exactly 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Here's Downs. Downs for Fagan. Fagan, the bounce shot wide right. It'll stay with Mcgarveys. Sullivan out for Fanzo. Fanzo tries to go into the middle for Downs. Intercepted by Malloy, who loses it for a moment but gets it back. Behind the net, a wild shot by Voorhees.
Duffy's goal, score for number 13.
And he does score.
With just under 9 minutes remaining.
Under 9 minutes remaining.
McGarveys 4.
10-4 Duffy's. Wood versus Scholl for the faceoff. Ball loose in the air and it's scooped up by Mcgarvey, so Wood wins the faceoff. Loses the ball immediately though. The shot goes wide for Drew Ross. Voorhees to go get it. Voorhees still has it. Now gives it up. Duffy's content to just kill some clock, under 7.5 to play. The shot goes up over the top. By Horning. Duffy's will maintain. This is Batley. Batley trying to go into the middle. Duffy's loses the ball, coming back with it. Here's Mcgarveys. Shot wide. Stays with Mcgarveys. Sullivan to go back and get it. Reese Sullivan, that is. Reese Sullivan doing some fancy work behind the net. As the ball shoots out of the offensive end, Standerford will pick it up. That shot goes off the post by Duffy's. Our over 40 teams have arrived in the building. Jackson Downs brings it forward. Into the middle, tries to get it back and does scoop up the loose ball. Mcgarveys needs to do something on the offensive end. They're just standing around a little bit. Ball comes back up top. King. Behind the back pass. And then shot goes wide. Looks like we have an injury for Duffy's. Player gets up. Is walking off under his own power, but is escorted by the referee. His horning will come on. Play resumes. Mcgarveys on the attack. Duffy's brings it all the way already into the attack zone. Centering pass. Stumbling, making the catch is Batley, but he takes himself out of position with the stumble. Now the center, unable to be caught cleanly. Shot, recovery, and score by Drew Ross.
Duffy's goal, scoreman number 22, Drew Ross.
11-4 Duffy's. So we hit the 4-minute mark. Maybe a little bit of a surprising score line. As Malloy's pass tried a little bit of razzle-dazzle there, almost a no-look pass, and maybe he should have looked. Duffy's does retain possession. Voorhees gives it off. Gets it back, starts to attack the left side. His shot slightly off the mark, picked up by the keeper Pinsky in the crease. Here comes Mcgarveys coming back the other way with 2:35 to go. Well, if you're Mcgarveys, you want to finish strong. 11-4, you're not going to make up, or at least without some sort of ridiculous sequence of events, you're not going to make that up with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. It's a ball thrown out of bounds. Belongs to Duffy's now. Malloy tries to pass it off. Eventually it is picked up by a teammate. Now 11-4. Duffy's on top. 12-4. Duffy's on top. Trying to get the number of the player who scored that. I think it might have been Batley. So we're under a minute to play in this fourth quarter. McGarveys with possession is White. Sends it in for King. King shot off the goalie. And it'll trickle out of bounds. King will pick it up. 25 seconds left. Duffy's is going to walk away with the Open Division Championship here. Downs will fire and score. Going 5-hole. Pretty much cosmetic at this point, however. As we're not even going to have the face-off, Duffy's begins celebrating. And there is the horn. Duffy's wins the Open Championship 12-5. We will have the over 40 championship coming up in a few minutes right here on Maryland Lacrosse League Facebook. Welcome back for our third and final game of the day. This one between McFauls and Cannons for the over 40 championship. Cannons in the bright green uniforms. McFauls going with the dark blues. This one will have 13-minute quarters as opposed to 12s, still running clock. As winning the face-off is McFauls as they take it into the attacking zone. McFauls. Up top, Jeremy Rollo. Rollo still with it. Now gives off for Greg Franzen. Franzen tries to move down the right side. Takes the shot. Save picked up by McFauls back behind the net. Lofted out for Franzen once again. Franzen spins in. Has his path denied. Needs to go somewhere with it. Goes behind his back with it and not able to make the catch is Aaron Verkelone. Ball comes loose. There was a flag out. So I have somebody going to the penalty box for Cannons. And it'll be an early EMO for McFauls. Moving it around. Franzen the shot, score. Greg Franzen with the goal. Credit and assist. As soon as the player turns, we'll let you know who has the assist on that one. Player still hasn't turned around, so we still don't know who it is who has the assist. Skis goes to Scott Brown.
Greg Franzen.
So face off once again. 10:25 to go again. 13-minute quarters in this 40-plus game. So once again, McFauls comes away with it. Shot and score very quickly on the spin move by Aaron Verkelone. It's quickly 2-0 McFauls.
McFauls goal, scorer number 11, Aaron Verkelone.
So 2-0 McFauls in this 40-plus game as we're rejoined once again by Colin Fagan.
Yeah, so just got done playing the Open Championship game.
You're everywhere today.
Oh, yeah, right? Trying to be. That was fun. That was a great game by Duffy's. Duffy's is one of the Shamrock family teams that we have. A lot of talent on that team, and they really finished it with their attack line that game.
Here we've got Cannons down 2-0 early in this one. A violation will give the ball right back to McFauls again. Well, much like you dealt with in that last game, it's all about the face-off. You know,
yeah.
when your team won the face-off, good things happen. McGarveys won the faceoff, good things happen.
Exactly, yeah. It's all about having the ball, you know.
Right now, Cannon's 0 for 3 on faceoffs. They just survived their first opportunity defense, or they just survived their first defense without giving up a goal, and now going into the attacking zone, but then lose it out of bounds. Scott Brown sends it forward. Brown with it now, looking back for Matt Hopkins. Hopkins wanted to give it to Vercoloni, but told him to hold it up at the top. Now Hopkins moves on to the right side. Gets by his defender. That one sticked away. And it'll remain with McFauls. Randy Belton with it. Belton coming back from behind the net. Trying to break down his defender one-on-one. Gets it into the middle. The shot by Josh Gerber is high. I'm going to say Cannons had the backup on it. So Cannons will come away with the ball. 5.5 minutes into this first quarter. The ball sent up ahead for Cannons, who now really puts together the offense for the first time today as we approach the 7-minute mark of the first quarter.
Chris Nesmith from behind. Oh.
This ball comes loose, and McFauls had it for a moment.
Oh.
Shot goes through the crease. Cannons will keep it. One thing about these Cannons uniforms, they are very small numbers on the back.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't miss them in the bold color, but wow.
Shot and score.
Number 2, Joe Castellino with the shot.
Joe
Cass finish.
Nice finish there. And, you know, again, that's something the Cannons needed. They were able to get a stop defensively and then move it forward, finally get into the attack. And once they had the opportunity on the attack, were able to finish.
Definitely. And I think we see with the 40-up crowd, you know, they move a little bit slower, but they know where to put the ball, and they move the ball efficiently, which makes a difference.
You know, I think that's a good key. Is there's a little bit more precision in what's happening. Might take a little bit longer in the build-up to get there, but a little bit more precision in what's going to happen in order once you have the ball.
Definitely. And, I mean, both these goalies, I kind of know them both personally now. They're both the two of the best goalies in the league all around, I think. Ben Frank in goal for Cannons. Really good at kind of talking to his D and just seems to make saves in big times.
It's Franzen trying to fight his way inside, now marked by 2 defenders. Throws his hands up to say, I don't have a stick. Somebody knocked it away from me. Referee says play on. Cannons will take it into the attacking zone. Shot and a score. Wait until he comes over so we can see the number a little closer.
And I got to say, out of all the matchups that we're going to have today, this 40-up championship game was one of the ones I was looking forward to. Once again, our mission statements, just to create like a competitive and fun and social experiment and kind of bring people together. 22.
That goal scored by Chris Bayer. Took a long time for him to come over and actually turn around so we could see the number. It's one of the most frustrating things as a broadcaster. Turn around, turn around, turn around. But after a little bit of a slow start, Cannons, speaking of turning it around, they've turned it around and tied it at 2 with 4.5 to go in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah, McFauls got up 2-0 early, and you're like thinking of their last game, are they just going to go up, you know, by a couple and take care of business? But Cannons come back.
A couple of players stumble on that one for McFauls. Everybody's okay. McFauls will take over on offense. Hopkins out on the left side. Wanted to go back for Whipple. You know, that's something to think about for a lot of these McFauls players. You know, we talk about the fact that maybe the 40-plus game is a little bit slower, but the fact is, a lot of these guys already played in one game earlier today.
Yeah, you see, once you get to the age, you just love to play, and some of these guys, as competitive they play 30 and 40 for their respective teams.
So that'll be an interesting challenge for McFauls, given again that they had. So if you think about it, some of these guys are playing in their fourth game of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had the semifinals earlier today where they may have been playing for both the 30 and the 40-plus teams, and now they're playing in the finals for both the 30 and the 40-plus teams. You're looking at your fourth game of the day. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, or 70. You're looking at 3.5 hours of playing lacrosse in one day. It's going to take a toll at some point.
For sure, yeah. We've seen the bench of McFauls looks a little lighter than it was earlier, you know.
It's Franzen's shot tipped up over the top. Whipple will bring it back. Hopkins over for Vercoloni. Brown. Franzen. Vercoloni, the shot and score. That was a rifle from distance. McFauls goes back up 3-2.
Just also want to take a second to thank US Lacrosse for having us out today. Their staff's top-notch. They helped us with everything, and the trainers, too, from MedStar for coming out. Luckily, there hasn't been anything serious, but they've been there for the old guys, taping them up as they need and giving ice when needed.
Athletic trainers do not get nearly enough credit for everything they do, both from a preventative standpoint, but also in the moment.
Definitely, yeah. And I like to think at this highly competitive level, having them here just puts everyone's kind of peace of mind, knowing that they have somebody here.
Ball still loose off of the face-off. And it's going to, well, thought it was finally going to be controlled. Still loose. And finally, it'll be Belton who winds up with it right on the goal line. It's Belton walking his way in, now with a stutter step, trying to make a move, gets it into the middle. Tough catch there. And it'll be Cannons that comes away with it. Jason Zapoli. Brings it into the offensive zone with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Cannons trying to find the equalizer right before the end of the quarter. Loses the ball, and out comes the flag. Out come several flags. It's going to be Vercoloni. Two-minute illegal body check, and it's locked. This could be a huge opportunity for Cannons, being on the extra man for a full 2 minutes, regardless of score.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take this into the second quarter as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to have a restart before, well, referee restarts the clock with 2 seconds left, but I'm not sure exactly what that's worth. As we end the first quarter with the score, McFauls up 3-2. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. Second quarter action coming up here from the US Lacrosse facility. Chad Cooper alongside Colin Fagan here to bring you the 40-plus championship game between McFauls and Cannon.
Yeah, so if those of you watching this or if you're watching the stream, if you think, hey, I'm 20, I'm 30, I'm 40, and I want to play, hop over onto our website, MarylandLacrosseLeague.com. You can fill out our player profile, and we'll do our best to get you on a team. We also have started a girls team that's playing in tournaments, so if you know anybody, please send them our way, and we'd be happy to get them on a team.
You know, it really is interesting when you see the difference between men's and women's lacrosse. It's the same sport, but it is two completely different sports.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it starts with the draw control versus the face-off. Cannons, again, begins this period on a 2-minute locked EMO. So an opportunity to try to draw even or go ahead here. Cannons yet to get a quality shot off 30 seconds into the second period. That one is rifled and blocked on the way through. So there was that quality shot that we were talking about. Still on that EMO, and again, that'll go until the 11-minute mark. Cannons working from behind cage, up top, shot, and it's wide. Shot taken by Joe Casalino. Minute of the 2-minute EMO gone as the ball trickles out towards midfield. You have a very unhappy McFauls team that ball was called toward Cannons. Now the referee from the very far side, or the near side, going over to the far side to discuss it. And it is going to be McFauls' ball.
Yeah, and I like that the refs took the time to talk it out with each other and just make sure they're on the same page in this championship environment.
The one thing that does with the running clock is it basically eliminates that EMO. So
yeah.
Even if it were going to stay Cannon's ball, we're back at even strength right now. So that's the one thing that does in that situation.
Right, yeah.
So McFauls a 3-2 lead. And with the ball behind the net. Spinning in is Josh Gerber. Holds on to the ball, never really made an attack opportunity out of that one.
Teams are both starting to get kind of settled now on offense when they have it. You got to think a lot of these guys in the 40 and older leagues, you know, back in their days, there wasn't really TV for them. So having this opportunity to have their games live streamed is kind of special for them. Be able to show their kids, even parents, you know.
The technology has come such a long way, and now it's almost unheard of. As Franzen, a one-handed shot. Save, but I mean, you're talking about a situation where this is almost unheard of 10 years ago. Now, if an event like this isn't live streamed, people are kind of curious as to what happened.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of expected almost.
McFauls retaining possession. Ball out on the far side. It's Vercoloni with the run. Back behind cage. Now, it's interesting, certain players that we knew were factors and big factors, as Belton coming from behind the cage. Players who were big factors in the 30-plus game. That was a good pass there by Belton and just not able to connect. Haven't been as big a factor in this 40-plus game. And the one that I'm looking at right now for McFauls, we said Mark Whipple a ton in the 30 game. Haven't really commented on him in this one.
You're right, yeah.
As if you're looking up the field, he's the one wearing number 1 with the red long shirt underneath it. It's a gutsy play by the Cannons keeper to take it all the way out towards midfield. Must think he's Blaze Reardon out there.
Yeah, you can't hold anything back in a championship game.
The attack by Cannons as the shot goes wide. And if you're missing that reference, we were talking about Blaze Reardon. There's an amazing play from an NCAA playoff game. I think it was in 2011. Blaze Reardon is playing for the University at Albany against Cornell.
Coast to coast?
Coast to coast as a keeper and comes in. And one reason that he said he was able to do that is that during the summers he was playing forward in box lacrosse, and you had mentioned to me earlier that there is possibly box lacrosse opportunity here in Maryland coming up.
Yeah, so we're excited. We'll have about a 2.5 month break, and then mid-January we'll have our box league kicking off in Canton and Wheaton. We're expecting around 10 teams, and the excitement level's there, and I think box is something that's been kind of lacking in Maryland, but I'm just excited to try to get it going and see what happens.
There's a nice opportunity there and a good save made by Cannons as we're pushing the midway point of this second quarter. Haven't had any scoring yet in this second quarter despite the 2-minute extra man opportunity for Cannons that began the period.
And this game just kind of has the feel like it's going to go down to the fourth quarter at this point, you know? Every possession, they're taking care of the ball. Everything matters.
Yeah, and as we said, everything a lot more precise, a lot more measured in this game than we've seen some of the chances taken in other games. A long shot, deflected wide, picked up by Cannons behind the net. Then on the outlet pass, a nice play by the defensive midfielder to try to keep that one in the offensive zone, but it'll be picked up by Gerber. Gerber onto the attack, finds Franzen. Franzen still trying to scoop the ground ball. Does and shovels it over to Benyon. The cage is off its mark. It'll stay with McFauls.
Okay, we got Mark Whipple starting the ball. Let's see if we can make something happen. I'm calling him the quickest player on the field right now.
Coming from the near side, now back behind the cage, swings it all the way around out to Franzen. Franzen attacking, splits a couple of defenders, gets hit, goes down, play on, says the official. Here comes Cannons with an odd man rush.
Franzen broke his stick, it looked like.
Yeah, he's carrying 2 different pieces of it.
This might be our coldest night of the year so far. We've had a warm fall.
Cannon sends it back, and again, looking for the equalizer. 5:20 to go in this second quarter. All the scoring thus far coming in the first quarter. Cannons moves it over to the right side into the attacking zone. Walter Green finds the shot and the score. Our first goal of the second period comes from Walter Green. And we're tied up at 3-3. That was a very deceptive move. They really hid who had the ball well.
Oh, yeah, You could tell a couple of defenders were looking. They weren't sure who had it.
It was a good faked exchange up at the top.
Yeah, sometimes that doesn't really work, but it seemed to confuse them a little bit.
Michael Wheat will take the face-off for Cannons.
It's always interesting when I see a long pole do the face-off, but I think it's pretty cool.
Kicks the ball forward, and it'll be picked up momentarily by Cannons, and then finally won on the face-off by McFauls, going in for the offense right away. Ball lost, however, by Belton. Gets it back. Being helped at stick length by his defender. Belton moves it over to Whipple. Whipple gets by his defender, gets inside, can't quite get a quality shot off. And a crease violation on Whipple. It'll go back over to Cannons. Cannons just tied it at 3, looking for their first lead of the day. They went down early as that pass is intercepted on the outlet shot and scored by Gerber. What a play by Gerber to intercept the outlet pass and then take it in himself for the goal. Well, just as we had said, Cannons went down 2-0 early. They were able to come back and tie it, gave up a goal, tie it again, looking for the offense, and all of a sudden the turnover does them in.
Yeah, and those are the things you look back at the end of the game like, man, we could have avoided that one or two things.
A really nice play there by Gerber, who's not all that huge. So to be able to get the stick up on the outlet, and there's two things. One, you need to credit Gerber big time for getting his stick up on that outlet pass. Two, the keeper for Cannons needs to loft that more in order to be able to get the outlet out of his attack zone. The shot goes wide. He knew he had the keeper beat on that one. Cannons will get the restart. Tried to do a quick restart, but the referees hadn't whistled it back in yet. It's Cannons in those lime green uniforms back out on the attack. And they're going to call the timeout with 1:50 to go. And I like that timeout. You have the opportunity to take it, and you are about to lose possession with your players sliding to the ground. Take the timeout right there to save the possession when you're only down 1.
Exactly, yeah. I've ran into that with my team. You kind of know when a guy's in trouble.
1:45 to go. Shot save. And coming up with the ground ball is going to be Matt Hopkins. Hopkins will float it out to Ray Kemper. A nice pickup there, I believe by Gerber. Check that. That was Hopkins coming through the midfield. That ball could have very easily squirted by him. He took that one step to it before it hit the ground. It was a very nice play by Hopkins there. Loose ball. Whipple comes away with it on the near side. 1:07 to go in the first half. Vercoloni. Brings it back out towards midfield. And he's going to set the offense up with a running start here, using Whipple as a pick. Goes to the left. He'll take the shot off the post. We've had a couple of posts in these last couple of games.
We got some shooters that know where to put it.
I'll say it right now. A goalie will tell you the post is part of the equipment. Here's Belton, 24 seconds left. Belton trying to come from behind the cage, has it poked away. And Cannons has an opportunity for an outlet here with 15 seconds to go. They're going to have to hurry. They do get it down the field. Quality shot goes wide. Quality shot at a tough angle, but a clear shot nonetheless. And that's how the first half is going to end, with McFauls holding on to a 4-3 lead. We'll be back with the second half in a little bit. You're watching the Maryland Lacrosse League on Facebook. Second half action coming up here from the US Lacrosse facility in Sparks, Maryland. Great to have you with us on I don't know if I want to call it chilly yet, but it's definitely a cool Friday night, or Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's Saturday night. They're all running together at this point.
I'll take it. I'd like to take a second to shout out our head ref tonight that's running onto the field right now, Wayne Geblin. He's been doing a great job, and this is our 3 best officials we have out here tonight.
They've done a very nice job in this game. And one thing that we've noticed is they're letting the players play.
Yeah.
And that is such a big element to every game, but they are letting the players play.
Yeah, and I think that's what you want to see in a championship type game.
So McFauls wins the opening faceoff of this third quarter, leading 4-3. McFauls led 3-2 at the end of one quarter. They were up 2-0. Then Cannons came back and tied it 2-2. McFauls took that 3-2 lead. Towards the end of the first quarter, Cannons had a 2-minute locked EMO to open the second quarter. Were unable to capitalize on it. They did tie the game at 3, made a defensive stop, and then a turnover in the defensive end. A great play also by McFauls as Josh Gerber intercepted a pass. And in so doing, just took it right in and scored, and that's where we stand. As Franzen drops the ball, picks it back up. Takes the long shot and scores. Franzen with the individual effort.
McFauls goal.
Broke his stick at the end of the second quarter.
He fixed it.
I don't know if he got somebody else's stick or if he taped that one up.
Right? Yeah. Should hold on to that one.
But whatever he did, it worked, and McFauls now up 5-3.
So at 12 today, we had our all-star game for our high school teams. We have 6 high school teams, and that was a fun game. I went down to the wire. We had 10 different schools represented, and as they were saying the national anthem, the coolest thing happened. They had three Navy ships or planes crossed over, and it seemed like an NFL home game. It kind of worked out. People were like, "Colin, how'd you do that?" But just had to shout that out. This is one of the special moments of the day. We also have somebody taking pictures all night. Those will be on our Facebook page tomorrow on our website, so stay tuned and check those out.
Violation on the face-off. Ball will go over to McFauls as taking right now is Vercoloni. Trying to attack down the right side. Shot high and wide. Belton on the backup.
Yeah, and just like to mention, this, the live stream, the pictures and everything, we're just trying to set ourselves apart as a league and kind of put these little things and do them right. And I think the rest kind of comes together. We also have a couple cool sponsors like Eastciders, Full Tilt, Crooked Crab, Charles Village Pub, Old Line. They've all kind of worked with us as bars and distilleries to kind of expose themselves to, a typical 30, 40-year-old that might like something good to eat or try a new beer and so forth.
Belton took the shot. It went wide. Brown had the backup. Brown with the ball right now. Trying to spin in on a defender, and he's giving up some size there. Vercoloni will take the errant pass. Brown making every move he possibly could. Defender staying with him. Under 10 to play in the third quarter. And again, in this 40-plus game, there are 13-minute quarters instead of the 12s that we've had earlier today. So here's Whipple. Whipple back out for Vercoloni. Vercoloni started with a head of steam, got by one defender, takes the shot falling down, and the save made, but that's not going to matter as the fall down is what mattered, and maybe not so much the fact that he fell down, but why he fell down.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a penalty against Cannons. And it'll be an extra man for McFauls. Colin, I want to ask you here. You're in a game with guys who are in that 40-plus age bracket. And with that being the case, And living in an area living in an area for a certain time, how much do the guys on each of these different teams know each other?
Right, yeah. We kind of see this. There's a lot of kind of local tournaments throughout the year where, a good amount of these people know each other on each team. Kind of adds to the competitive nature, as in they'll have the bragging rights for the winter and taking it into the spring, when they play each other again. Cannons won the matchup about 3-4 weeks ago when McFauls came down to Annapolis. So this is one that the McFauls team had on their radar if they made it to the championship game.
Pass goes up to the shot. Vercoloni, shot goes wide. Whipple on the backup. You figure a lot of these guys have played against each other for a long time, even going back to college, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Friends and whips the shot. Tipped up over the top. I think the keeper got a piece of that one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and one cool thing about the league is kind of we know which teams have these good rivalries, so we kind of try to start out the season or finish the season with a good rivalry game.
Friends and again, and that one goes in, and that is an unhappy goalie. He got a piece of that one.
Right, yeah.
And it still winds up going in, and now McFauls starting to pull away a little bit, 6-3. Don't want to call it desperation time for Cannons, but they need to answer at some point and answer soon.
I think so, yeah. We saw how that last 40-game finish with Crease Monkeys and McFauls to get McFauls to this point.
Yeah, Crease Monkeys was down 8-4, and then all of a sudden, it's 10-9. And Crease Monkeys with an EMO under a minute to go was unable to find the equalizer.
That might have been the game of the day. Having them come back.
And again, we talk about fatigue as a factor, and you look at a lot of these guys for McFauls. Think about this. Starting since 6 o'clock. They played in a 40-plus semifinal as Vercoloni goes in, and he will find the back of the net. All of a sudden, McFauls up 7. Well, if there's fatigue, you aren't seeing it right now.
Right, yeah.
But, you think about a lot of these McFauls players, a lot of them played in a 40-plus semifinal at 6 o'clock, a 30-plus final at 7 o'clock, and are now back out for a 40-plus final at 9 o'clock.
You're definitely staying busy tonight.
I'm in the 40-plus age group. 9 o'clock is past my bedtime. All right, maybe not. I'll push and go wild, and I'll stay up till 10 some nights, but
Right.
(7-3), more than midway through this third quarter. McFauls on top. Cannons will start with the ball. And they really need an answer right now. There really isn't an opportunity to wait at this point. Shot goes wide.
Ray, you think you got about 5 minutes left in the third. You want to try to get 1 or 2 goals here and go into the fourth and kind of go from there.
One of the big things is earlier in this game, it wasn't so much that you needed to keep McFauls off the board and score yourself. Now you need to worry about if you score, you've got to win the faceoff to keep McFauls away from the ball and off the board. So that one kicked out towards the offensive zone and picked up by McFauls. So here's Gerber. Knocked down, still maintains possession. Flag goes up with 4:48 to go in the third. Behind the back pass to Whipple. Whipple trying to attack from the middle, into the middle, sent low by Hopkins. So a cross check called against Cannons. It'll be 1 minute, releasable. So Whipple will get things started from the end line. Give also the fans who have stayed throughout the entire day credit.
Oh, yeah.
For sticking around for what has been a long day of lacrosse, a great day of lacrosse, but a long day of lacrosse nonetheless.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got some families here watching their dads play, which is kind of cool to see.
So the EMO will get started, and the EMO will get ended by Belton.
Wow, yeah.
I was going to say the EMO will get started at 3:45. The EMO will get ended at 3:37. You were talking about the precision that a lot of these older players have. And we say older, it's a relative term.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the older, we're going to go with more experienced players.
Right, yeah.
They have, but don't take anything away from the physical abilities that they have to absolutely fire a shot in on cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you give these guys some time and room, and they're going to put it where it needs to be.
So McFauls goes up 8-3, under 3 minutes to play, which means there's less than 16 minutes left in this game, and making up a 5-goal deficit in 16 minutes is not an easy thing to do. It's not to say that it can't be done, but Cannons need something on the offensive end before this third quarter ends. Cannons does bring it into the offensive area.
So yeah, Joe Castellino with the ball. He's one of their players that I look to if they're going to come back into this, who's going to try to put up a couple.
Starting the attack, moving on to the right side. Now reversing direction. Sending it back out towards midfield with 2:05 to go in the third quarter. Now on to the left side, getting in and losing the ball. In fact, that was Scott Conklin. Cannons had it back, but they're going to wave the goal off. Crease violation. McFauls will get it back with 1:32 remaining in the third quarter. It might be a little early to try to play for one shot, but at the same time, why not take that advantage if you've got it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I'm McFauls, I'm happy going into the fourth with a 5-point lead.
Franzen just walking it into the middle of the field, no real urgency. And again, you can't just stand with the ball and do nothing. You need to move it around a little bit, but Whipple will take it in. Whipple gets knocked down, and the flag comes out. McFauls picks the ball up. So they'll continue to play on until Cannons has a touch. Franzen spins in, shot and a save, and now the whistle will blow. See if we can catch the call. It's going to be a 30-second. Which again, I believe will carry into the fourth as Whipple will be pointed to where he needs to start. But with only 6 seconds left, and you heard somebody say, just hold it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Heading into the fourth quarter with McFauls leading 8-3. Fourth quarter play coming up here from the US Lacrosse facility in Sparks, Maryland. Very glad that you are with us on Maryland Lacrosse League Facebook. 8-3, McFauls leading Cannons in the 40-plus championship game. Our final game of the day, our final quarter of the day.
Yeah, no, Colin Fagan here. I'm about to sign off from the live stream, but I'm going to go down and get ready to hand out some hardware, and we have some MVP awards that are courtesy of Cascade Lacrosse. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And once again, if you're interested in playing or want to be a part of this, please shoot us an email or check us out on our website. Thanks, guys.
And thank you very much, Colin, for everything that you have done for us today, setting up all of the live stream for us today, as well as administrating this tournament and playing in the tournament on top of it. It's been a long day for you, and we thank you for everything that you have done as Cannons working now from left to right, trying to chase down the loose ball, but the goalie for McFauls coming out to scoop it up and push it forward to Matthew Moscato. Goalie still with the ball. Now sending it forward to Franzen. Franzen brings it into the offensive zone. Was trying to lob it into the middle for Gerber. It went a little bit too far, but backed up by Whipple. Now Belton. Belton. Up top for Scott Brown. Scott Brown, haven't said his name much. He was a big factor in the 30-plus game. A little bit less so in this 40-plus game, but still providing some minutes on attack. Trying to break down his defender now. Gets to the right of him. Tries to bounce the shot in. Save made. And Cannons comes up with the ground ball. But already more than 2 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter as there's a turnover. Franzen picks it up. Gives it to Vercoloni. And now Brown once again. McFauls on the verge of winning their second championship of the day. They won the 30-plus championship against Eastciders 6-3 and are now up 8-3 in the 40-plus championship. Vercoloni will be able to get to that one before it crosses the sideline. Ball ran out of steam as it was aiming towards the sideline. Franzen. Back to Vercoloni. Vercoloni driving in the left-handed shot. Save made. Now Cannons. Yeah, and they're trying these long outlet passes because they need to get the ball down the field quickly, down by 5 with 9.5 to play. As that one lost, Hopkins will come away with it. And now for McFauls, just a matter of calmly bringing it up the field. Kraft. Gave it up as now Hopkins with the clear. Back to Franzen. Franzen. Swings it behind the net to Belton, who nearly had his heels on the end line. Belton trying to dip, duck, and dive. He's got a couple of goals today. Nearly had a third. So that one somehow stays out of the net and pops its way out towards the defensive third. Here comes Cannons on the attack. Ball poked away from Stephen Kerr. Loose in the midfield. Cannons comes back away with it. Will Pace gives it off. Shot is high. Backed up by Pace. 8:18 remaining. Two defenders back behind the cage, matching the two offensive players for Cannons. Ball loose, and it's going to be McFauls that comes away with it. This ball shoveled ahead to Moscato. Now into the middle. As Hopkins will bring it forward. Hopkins starts getting double marked, rolls it out to Whipple. Whipple stumbles as he brings it forward. Was able to maintain his feet. Sends it back behind Cage. Belton. Just going to hold and wait for a minute or two. As McFauls shuffles the attack. Again, if the referee's not saying take the shot, no reason to do anything else. That ball will trickle over the end line. Belton with the backup. 6:50 to play in the fourth quarter. Belton walks it back in. Instead of going to Whipple, goes across for Franzen. Franzen. Top Hopkins. And now they do install the 30-second shot. Midway through this fourth quarter. Belton takes a trip to the turf, and Cannons comes away with the ball. Loose in the midfield. Scooped up by Pace, and he's able to push it forward. Behind the back. Not sure if that was a shot or a pass from Conklin. But either way, it's going to belong to McFauls with 5:45 to go. McFauls holding on to that 8-3 lead. No scoring yet in this fourth quarter, and quite frankly, if you're McFauls, you don't care if there's any scoring in this fourth quarter. You've got the 5-goal lead with just over 5 to play as Carroll gives the ball off to Franzen. Franzen slows to a walk down the right side in the attack zone. Back out to Vercoloni. Jay Bainan in for McFauls as Vercoloni swings it over to Whipple. Whipple starts his attack. I think he wanted to dish that back to Vercoloni off to his right, but Vercoloni was a little further behind. Still able to chase it down. Under 5 to play. So here's Benton. Benton takes the shot. It's saved. Ball loose, and Cannons will scoop up the ground ball. Cannons sprinting it across. They do not have numbers. So they'll pull it back out. 4:29 to play in the fourth quarter. Cannons working it behind the cage. Trying to get something going here. The shot goes off the outside of the post and is backed up by the keeper for McFauls. So we cross the 4-minute mark here in this fourth quarter. Hopkins flashes on the near side, but the pass goes on to the far side for the outlet. Very slow jog by the long pole as he'll send it back to the goalie. Goalie comes all the way out to the top of the third. Now he's going to send it into the attacking zone where it should have been intercepted, but is picked up instead by Gerber. Gerber. In no hurry to do pretty much anything, except for make sure the Cannons doesn't get the ball until the referee says they have to take a shot. Referee says McFauls needs to take a shot, that is. Shot clock warning activated as Benton, with the keeper well out of net, is able to take the pass from Gerber and send it into the net. 9-3. 2:43 and counting here in this fourth quarter. At this point, anything Cannons is able to do, likely just a cosmetic finish, make it look a little bit better. It's McFauls getting set to celebrate their fourth championship, or their second championship of the day, their fourth win of the day. Again, you think about what some of these McFauls players did. Play a 30-plus semifinal, or a 40-plus semifinal at 6 o'clock, a 30-plus championship at 7 o'clock, and now a 40-plus championship at 9 o'clock. As we said, that's a lot of lacrosse for anybody of any age to play in a day. And they have done it to the top level of anybody. They got a push, and it'll stay with Cannons. Shot and score. So we'll wait and see who that is. He needs to get to the sideline and turn around so we can see. It's number 56, Jason Zapoli, with the goal.
Goal scored by number 56, Jason Zapoli.
And again, as we push 1 minute remaining, which we will hit right about now. If McFauls, and they do win the face-off, but again, if they had just won that face-off, and they do, Whipple with the ball, passed it into traffic, but McFauls trying to chase it down. 45 seconds remaining. Procedural penalty, and it'll go against McFauls, so it'll be Cannon's ball, but under 40 seconds left. And they're starting in their own end. Right now, it's pretty much academic. Cannons will bring it across into the attacking zone with 20 seconds left. As it's intercepted by McFauls, they're just going to roll it down the field and let the clock wind away. 6 seconds left. And that will do it. The players begin to walk off the field, and McFauls wins the 40-plus Maryland Lacrosse League Championship. We want to thank you for having been with us all evening long. The Maryland Lacrosse League Facebook page. Our video today provided by SFBN, our crew from SFBN doing a fantastic job here at the US Lacrosse facility in Sparks, Maryland. Want to also thank Colin Fagan, who helped with the broadcast as well as being the administrator of the event today. For everybody involved in the broadcast, I'm Chad Cooper saying, have a good evening, everybody.